Hey guys, Mr. Weed. Just wanted to quickly run through how to transfer grades from your Google Classroom account to Skyward. They will talk to each other. It's not a super easy process, but they do work together. So I wanted to take a few minutes, kind of walk you through how, if you have grades already in Google Classroom, how do you transfer those into your grade book? So first things first, we're going to open up our grade book. Okay, we open up our grade book, and once our grade book comes up, we're going to go to that class that we want to do. Now, the big deal with this, it only happens a class at a time. So you can't do all your classes at once. You're going to have to go through your first period, your second period, or whatever, or however you have it broken down, each class at a time. The other thing that I found a little difficult is, so for example, I have a co-teach first period, and so that is combined with my Google Classroom. That means I really can't do this. This process wouldn't work for that combined class in Google Classroom. Now, in the future, if you're going to do this regularly, want to transfer it over, you might consider creating a separate Google Classroom for your co-teach classes or your SF classes, because those won't be combined. Well, at least my co-teach doesn't combine. Now, your SF class might combine together, so it probably wouldn't be a problem for your SF classes. But for co-teach, because it doesn't allow, Skyward doesn't allow us to combine, it probably would be better in the future just to give them their own Google Classroom account. So I'm going to look at second period right here, 30812, because it is a single individual class and it's not a co-teach class. So that makes it a little easier. I've taken my kids' names off here, so you won't see them. They'll be on there normally, but because I'm making the video, I kind of took that off. I created a test assignment for you so you could kind of see. I just made up an assignment here and put it as test to show you how to do this. So when I want to add in that grade, I want to go to advanced export import assignments, right? And then you're going to pick the assignment you want. This one happens to be my test, right? And then I'm going to create file for score entry. So I'm going to click here, and that will create it, and it's going to be a CSV. I'll look at show in folder. You kind of want to have it available. You're going to need it. And I'm using a Chromebook, showing you the easiest way to do it with the Chromebook, because you're going to have to do some converting back and forth. So 3812 CSV happens to be 2 is the one it creates, but and so it should be here in just a second. So that's there. Okay. Now I need to go to my Google Classroom. I need to find the assignment that I want to put in there. So I'm going to go back here to Google Classroom. The assignment I want to use is actually from my week 2 homeschool, because this is one that some kids have done and not done. And then you want to come over here to this this tab over here, the little wheel. And you're gonna, if you want to do one assignment at a time, you're gonna do download these grades. If you did download all grades, it puts all the grades you have, and you could do several grades. It's a little more tricky to do. You could also do a Google Sheets. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna do download these grades as CSV. Okay, just to show you how to do that. And once again, show in folder. Okay, and I'll go to recent because it'll show me my most recent. All right, so I want this assignment. I'm going to open that up. It gives you a screen here. Now, here's the weird part about it you got to pay attention to. It will put it in first name alphabetical order. So we have to redo that. Now, I will show you if you just select the first column, it won't work correctly. If you sort A to Z here, it'll just resort that first column A to Z, which does you no good. So we want to go back and undo that. So what you want to do is you want to actually click on your first name, then go all the way over here and click on this, and it'll sort all of that for you, okay? So that's the easiest way to do it. Then you can double click, sort A to Z, Boom. Now it should be sorted correctly, right? It resorted all those based on A to Z this way, right? And these are right in order, and these are the same ones, the grades they should be, the way they should be. So the column we're going to pay attention to here is the grade column. It might be easier to pull to get all that email out of there. There you go. Now, as you can tell, this was a redo assignment, so a lot of my kids didn't actually do it. They did it the first time. So these are just kids that had to redo this assignment. So I'm just going to click on the top with the first kid and then shift all the way down. And then I'm going to double click and I'm going to copy, right? And that's all we need this document for. We're just copying those grades. Just make sure they're A, B, C order. The other thing to pay attention to, look, I have 2 Perez's. Make sure that those are in the correct order. When we go over to this CSV, we want to make sure that it is in the correct order. So this one put Kevin first, then Leslie. Over here, it is Kevin, then Leslie. So we're good here, right? Now, one thing that I found, if you just try to do what we just did, and you Control V, or Control V this, I want you to see what'll happen. It shoves it all in the first kid's column. Actually, it does it for every column. It puts all those grades in, spaces it all out. So we don't want to do that. That's not going to be very helpful. So what I found that is easy is to change this over to a Google Sheets. Now I can take this column. Well, once it comes up, it's still loading. So once I've changed it over to a Google Sheets, now I can highlight when it comes up. I'll be able to highlight that column in the points column. Make sure you're putting this in the points. We're not trying to do a special code or anything like that. And I'll get mine down. Okay, so now we're up. Here we go. So we're going to, sorry, it's being a pain. Okay, sorry about that. It just took me a second to get this lined up how I wanted it. So now remember, we've converted this to a Google Sheets. Now I can select here in the points category, and I can shift all the way down. Now I can double click this. Whoops. And let me double click it. Come on now. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I can just Control V it. There we go. Now those are put in there. If you wanted to do special codes or no count, you could actually put an X here and it'll no count those things for you if you wanted to do that. I think it's probably easier, instead of trying to work off this, to actually go back in your gradebook and no count the things you actually want to no count, or missing the ones you want to miss. But that's just to show you, you could do that. You could put in a special code here if you wanted to, if you remember special codes. But once again, feel like that's going to be easier to do once you get back in your gradebook, and you kind of, that's something you want to pay a little more attention to versus just sticking X's in here. But anyway, so now we're in a Google Sheets. The thing is, this Google Sheets won't talk back to Skyward, so we have to convert it back to a CSV file. So we're going to come back over here to File. We have the grades in we want to do, and we're going to download as, and we want to change it to a .csv, right? Comma separated value sheet. Okay. Now our download's complete. We're going to show in folder. Okay. And this is the sheet we're going to use to upload back into Skyward. And remember the numbers on it, right? If you want to change that number to second period, this assignment, whatever, that might make it a little easier on you if you want to save those as that. So this is the one we want to use. So we're going to go back into Skyward. This is where we are. Okay. And so at the very bottom down here, let's see if it'll let me scroll down. It says, if you look down here, it says import scores from file. So now I'm going to click on this. Whoop. Hold on. Not yet. There's another sheet here, but this is in the way. So I have to figure out how to get that out of the way. There we go. You have to choose file, right? And I remembered the name of my file. It is, I can go to recent. That's probably the easiest way for me to do it. But if you remember, the file was 3.30812 there. Now selected that file. Now choose import scores from file. And it gives asterisks for the kids that didn't do it. And then it gives the grades for the kids that did do it. It tells me that it's successful. If I go back to my grade book, boom, they're in there, right, with the asterisks. Now I can go back in here and select these if I want to, and then select missing, no count, comments. Once again, you could have put all that in the other one. I think it's just better to do it this way, just so you know exactly what you got or don't got. But anyway, you have any questions? This is the easiest way to do that. Just wanted to make it for some of our Chromebook users. That's what I'm having to use at home. So it's kind of takes a little special converting that from a CSV over to a Google Sheets and then back. Those are probably your easiest way to do that. And if the CSV from Google Classroom gives you problems, convert that over to a Google Sheets too. It's fine. You can do that. You're just really just copying and pasting. You just want to get it the way, make sure that the kids' grades are in the right order. So any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is wweed, that's 2 W's, 2 E's, and a D, at mesquiteISD.org. Once again, that's wweed. And I'm a history teacher at Terry Middle School, just so you kind of know who I am. Once again, that's wweed, that's 2 W's, 2 E's, and a D, at mesquiteISD.org. I hope this was helpful.